Along the Texas border, a problem is building. One that has some feeling left out and unprotected. It's a problem 81-year-old Pamela Taylor can point out
Mexico is right behind my house over here.
from her front yard.
The wall is right over there.
Taylor says she assumed the border wall would be built along the Rio Grande River. This is the border of Texas, but the federal government says because of environmental reasons and because of expense, much of the wall is not being built on the actual border.
It doesn't make sense.
This section in Brownsville is nearly a mile away, trapping Taylor between Mexico
We feel like we've been forgotten.
and the wall.
My son-in-law asked them, how are we going to get out? And they said, well, we hadn't even thought of anybody getting out.
That, however, would not be a problem because at the top of Miss Taylor's street is a hole in the fence. Along the Texas border, there are hundreds of holes, yet the government says there are no gaps in security. The Border Patrol says the wall alone was never intended to keep people out.
We want to utilize this as a tool.
Rather, the wall is in place to divert illegal immigrants away from neighborhoods and into gaps where Border Patrol agents will be waiting.
It's a matter of protecting the community and the country.
He's not protecting me.
Taylor says this diversion strategy has put her in the crosshairs.
We don't want to kill anybody. We don't want to harm anybody. But we do have to protect ourselves.
Where Taylor's property meets the river, there are signs, clues, even what appears to be clear evidence of illegal immigrants crossing the river, and no Border Patrol agent in sight. Taylor has had encounters with illegal immigrants on her land and in her home.
I saw this person standing in my living room, and then he'd go and sit down and rock for a while, and I was so angry that someone had come into my home that I just came in and I was going to berate this person.
But before she could say a word, he took off.
Yeah, I have lots of molds, different molds that I pour.
Even in the one place in her home where she lets her imagination go,
Kind of get carried away.
she can't avoid reality.
You have to be aware from the time you get up in the morning and all through the night.
The Border Patrol says it's increased patrol on Taylor Street, and when it doesn't look like anyone's around, they're watching, monitoring hundreds of cameras along the border around the clock.
There's always going to be opposition. Our goal here is to protect our country by keeping it safe.
It's a goal the government continues to build towards, even as some point out its holes. With the I-Team, Brian New, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.